Welcome to the Bottom Line. I'm Pastor Rick Utze from Maranatha Community Fellowship in Plain City, Ohio. I don't know if any of you have ever driven in a self-driving car or not. I know I haven't, but I saw that Pittsburgh, their Uber is actually having a trial where some of the cars are actually self-driving. They got all this apparatus on them so that they can basically drive themselves. And so they had a video of it. They had a person who got in the car and they were showing what it was like for this car to be going down the road without the driver touching the steering wheel. And you could tell the driver at times, because they were new to this too, kind of wanted to grab the wheel because it was a little disconcerting sitting there and seeing the wheel turn and you're not doing anything. And there's a stoplight ahead and it turns red, and sure enough the car's able to recognize the light and come to a stop. It turns green, it goes, it recognizes the cars alongside of the road, which lane it's in. I mean, it's doing all of this on its own. I mean, the lady's just sitting in the car watching all this happen. And one time the car actually beeped and it lets you know when it goes out of self-driving mode, so you have to be ready, right? And it only happened for like a second, but something must have gone a little bit haywire. And so I was thinking about this experience of what it would be like to be in that car and kind of liken it to our experience as a Christian, because in Galatians 5, it says, "So I say, let the Holy Spirit guide your lives. Then you won't be doing what your sinful nature craves." And then listen, it says in verse 17, the sinful nature wants to do evil, which is the opposite of what the Spirit wants. And it goes on and says they're constantly fighting each other. You know, we're in this life and we believed in Jesus Christ. He's given us the Holy Spirit because he knows that we can't do it on our own. I mean, he knew that we, in our just human nature, could not live a life that was pleasing to him. So God gave us the Holy Spirit when we believe in Jesus Christ. And Galatians 5 goes on to then say what it means, what it looks like to live in the flesh. I mean, he lists all these things that deal with sexual immorality, relationship issues, self-control issues of anger and all this stuff. And all these things are what we want to do for ourselves. And then what does it mean to live by the Holy Spirit? When we walk in the Holy Spirit, we have love, joy, and peace, and gentleness, and patience, and goodness, and all these things will be fruits of our lives. And you can't be doing both at the same time. You're either going to be living according to the Spirit or the flesh. And so we need to understand that we need to let the Spirit guide us. We need to let the Spirit take control of our lives. And one thing that I noticed, the lady, when she was in the car, said, you know, this experience isn't exactly like driving on your own. And she said that's actually a good thing because most human beings aren't great drivers. So she said this was actually a good thing that the experience wasn't like us making mistakes. And so here's the bottom line. Unlike the self-driving car, which it wasn't perfect, our Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit that God has given us in our lives, is perfect. And if we truly follow him, he gives us the knowledge and the power and the strength and the wisdom we need to walk after Jesus Christ and to become more like him. Are we following Jesus? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on The Bottom Line.